Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Peter Brown. Welcome to Futbol Miami TV. It's Sunday night, and that means it's time for FMTV Weekly. And man, am I excited. I was at the stadium today, and we're going to talk a lot about that. And we got a game coming up real soon. So you saw in the title of the video, are you ready? Better question, is the team ready? But you know who I know is absolutely 100% ready for this season, and that's our buddy Uncle Ed. Say hi, Ed.
How you doing, guys? I am live from the stadium, as you can see behind me. We're so excited because we're just around the corner from all this, games and players and so much that's going to happen, guys. We're just, ready and excited for all this to happen. So, Peter, where do we start? There's so much.
There is so much
information right now.
There's so much to talk. I was at the stadium earlier today. It looks like you forgot to leave.
Yeah, I'm still here, Peter. Actually, I didn't get to go. My bad.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You know what? As far as the game goes, I'll be honest. I was on the fence about going because I had a super busy weekend, like always. Shocker. I was in the yard doing yard work and stuff like that. But I was building like this little like retaining wall type of thing, very small for like the planter. It looks nice and all that. And I'm tired, Ed. I'm tired. And so I was thinking, am I really going to go and go in the rain? Because, well, that's why I'm wearing my rain jacket, Ed. It's raining outside. I don't know about how it is in Miami, but up here in Broward, it's been a rainy day. So I was wondering if I was going to go as well. But, man, am I glad that I did. Once I set foot into that stadium, it was actually bright and sunny. And I was in that stadium, and I was super excited to be there. I was just happy that I decided to get off my lazy butt and get to the stadium. It was a beautiful day to watch some practice. Practice, they say. But a beautiful day to watch Inter Miami take on Inter Miami. Yeah, well, Toronto FC canceled. I mean, they've got more important things like Champions League coming up. We could question some of that. Who scheduled this game? I mean, no brainer that they wouldn't want to come. But anyways, we have so much fun stuff to talk about today. And Ed, are you back? You're back, Ed.
There's a crazy storm going on outside. I think that's affecting things, man.
And that's why
thunder and lightning in Miami.
That's why you need the raincoat, Ed. That's why you need the Inter Miami raincoat right here, so that you two can look good in the rain. Because it's storming outside.
Where can I get it, Peter? Where can I get it?
It's funny that you say that, Ed, because you could go to Caneswear to get it. Go to caneswear.com if you're a little bit out of the area. And you can get this exact jacket. I got it at Caneswear. You two can get it there as well. And I was at the stadium today. Got stopped by a few people commenting on the jacket. Thought it looked good. Some people. Apparently, there might be a black one floating around, but I haven't seen that in the stores because one of the people on the team had mentioned that he had the black one, but he appreciated the pink one. So go to Caneswear. Go there and you mention FMTV 10, get 10% off. That code is still good. So go there and mention FMTV. And so if you're in Davie, head to the store. But if it's a little bit out of your way, go to caneswear.com. Ed, there's a lot of people in the queue today. A lot of people ready for some football, ready to talk about some Inter Miami. Let's say hi to some folks.
That's a great thing, Peter, because we've got a giveaway today. We're going to give away 2 tickets to the LA Galaxy game.
Yes. And so you need to be in today's chat.
How you like them apples?
To get this ticket. Tickets. 2 tickets.
We're going to give it away in this chat, and we're going to tell you guys exactly when. You're going to have to leave a comment, and I'm going to tell you what that comment is, but a little later on the show. So be ready, guys, because towards the end of the show, we're going to give it away to somebody. Peter's going to read them all off, and the best comment with the topic that I give you a little bit later on will be the winner.
Yeah, we were offered these tickets, and that was a great gift to us to give to you guys, and we wanted to reward those of you that watch live with us every week. So again, if anybody is just tuning in for our first few minutes, you better stick to the end because we're not going to give away the good stuff in the beginning. We got to give it away to those people that are sitting through to the end. So hopefully there's somebody at the end that answers your question or your comment and gives a good comment, and that still may need tickets.
Exactly, Peter. And just a shout out to Alex Zapata, who's the guy that's donating both of those tickets. The winner's going to have to meet up with him at the stadium, and he's going to hand them over the tickets. That way, no scalping and all that good stuff. It's actually a person that's going to watch the game.
Right. And so there's a few restrictions based on Alex's request. And I get it. That's because he doesn't want somebody to just get them and resell them. He wants to reward somebody that actually cares enough to go to the game. None of these people that are just looking to sell these tickets. Well, Ed may be in and out today, so we will see how it goes today. So I will go and I will welcome everybody that's in here on the chat. So first off, let's welcome B King. He says it was a nice scrimmage today. How they made the second team or the team oars wear black kit so they can really cook. Yeah, it was a little toasty. Jose Velasquez is in the queue as well. Welcome, Jose. Jazz Fusion is also in here as well. Almendares 15. I'm probably butchering their name, but that's kind of what I do, so don't get upset. Kevin Gonzalez is here, ready for 3 points. Troy is in here, still watching on TV. Troy, but if you need tickets and want tickets, you got to stick here on the chat. I also watch on my YouTube on TV, so I'm right there with you. Got a little Apple TV, watch all that stuff on Apple TV. Judge Dredd is in the house as well, as always. We also have, as always, One World, One Goal. Marvin Nealis is in here. What's up, everyone? What's up, Marvin? Jonathan Carranza is in here. What happened to your big brother, Jonathan? He wasn't playing today. Apparently, he's got a little bit of a knock. A new Weissman all the way from Atlanta tuning in. Now they have to make a true pink kit, he says, because of the whole naming. We're going to get to the name in a little bit. Footballer is in here. Footballer, was I on time today? Did I meet your time criteria? I didn't see a countdown today. Eric Thomas is in the house. Evening, gents. And also a special call out to Mrs. Italia. Alejandro Michel is in. Welcome. Anthony Omelis. Our friend Jet Pancake is here. Richard Greenberg, welcome back. And let's see, is there anybody I have missed? Welcome, Ted Sikowski. I probably butcher your name too. But our Polish friend is in the house. And Endo is in the house. Hey, Downtown Peter Brown and Uncle Ed. Score FL is in the house as well. I keep saying in the house, maybe one time too many. Federico Vargas from Vargas Law. Go to vargaslaw.com. Good friend of ours. Steve C., welcome. Man, it just goes on and on. Ricky Ricardo, welcome, Ricky. Jeff Reed. And I think we're caught up. And I think at this point, Ed, I think Ed's back.
I'm back, Peter Brown. I'm back.
All right. Well, Ed,
let's see if, there's so much to talk about, Peter. I'm really excited. Also, you mentioned Ricky Ricardo. We plan on starting the Spanish shows again, guys. So be on the lookout for that. Not sure if it's going to be this week or the following, but we'll tune you guys in on that. So we're excited about that plan. I mean, Football Miami TV just keeps going, guys. We don't stop. So absolutely. This is going to be fun. But Peter, you were at the stadium today. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, so I was at Drive Pink Stadium or Lockhart Stadium, whatever you want to call it, and I got into a little bit of Facebook beef with some former Fort Lauderdale Strikers fans because I, called it Lockhart. So we know it's now Drive Pink, but it's Lockhart in our heart, right? So got into a little bit of some Facebook beef there with some people, but it was fun, Ed. I tell you, it's just like that relaxing afternoon, checking out a soccer game, trying to see how the team looks. Granted, it's an inter squad scrimmage, so you're not going to see anything, earth shattering. No hard tackles, really. One yellow card to Matuidi, actually, which was a surprise. Wow. But overall, I mean, they looked okay. Don't expect a lot of goals this year, though. That's what I was going to, what I came away from is I'm not. Here's the thing.
The forwards, Peter. I wanted to hear, any forwards that you thought were good. You just mentioned Carranza didn't play.
Did not play. Apparently, he's got a small knock. I was reading about that on Franco Panizzo's article on SBIsoccer.com, so check that out. Friend of ours. Apparently he's got a knock. What's our favorite surfer there? Blonde hair surfer. Breck was not playing as well. Apparently, also nursing a small injury. So those two guys did not play. And what about Carranza's always injured? I mean, last year was the same story. Always injured, right? But that's a concern.
Yeah, not good. And Higuain is the guy that I really want to know about.
Well, I mean, he made a nice through.
Or what didn't happen?
Well, that's just it. He made a nice through pass to Leerdam, who Leerdam scored. So the goal, just in case anybody didn't know, it was the white team versus the black team. The white team is clearly your starters, and the white team had McCarthy in goal, Leerdam, Figal, Gonzalez, Perez, and Jones on the back line, Gregory, Matuidi, Morgan, Pizarro, and Robinson in the midfield, and Higuain up top. Robinson playing on the left wing and looked pretty good on the left wing. Reports are that we may see more of him on that left side throughout the season. Apparently, Neville really likes him in that position. Feels like he can get on the ball a lot more. So, and he scored a goal, so why not? But Higuain, he did what Higuain does. He came back a lot. He misses an opportunity or doesn't get into open space. And what does he do? He yells at his other team members, doesn't take responsibility maybe that you're just too slow and you should have gotten to it or something. I don't know. It was just a practice game, but I was not overly impressed with Higuain, other than he did make a nice pass to Leerdam, who did score. So the end result was 3-1, white team being your first team, the black team being your backups. Interesting thing, though, Ed, was Shawcross, who I thought they brought in would be a starter. He was on black team. So to me, that says Shawcross might be a backup. On
the bench. Going to be riding that bench.
Yeah, I mean, we bring in somebody with that kind of experience. I just assume he would be a starter. But I might have assumed wrong, because you know what assume means.
Well, yeah, of course, Peter. That means that Pizarro wasn't on. He's still with Mexico.
No, Pizarro was there. I think I mentioned.
Is that what's happening?
Pizarro was playing.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, and he scored.
How'd he look?
Pizarro looked okay. He did pass the ball a little bit more. He did score one goal from some like zigzaggy play. Kind of doing a little of this and then got in the goal.
A little of that.
A little of this, a little of that.
A little of that. Yeah.
And he got in the goal.
Well, that's good.
Ed, before we go too far, because I mean, there is so much, and as the day goes on, I'm just thinking, well, that could be another thing to talk about. Could be another thing. I mean, this whole argument I got into with some of these Broward people, that's a whole nother topic that Ted Zukowski was talking about recently, and then hit me up also. We were talking a little bit more about that. So, but there's so many things to talk about, but we do have quite a few. We have 4 voicemail, and if you want to leave a voicemail, you too can leave one. You can leave one right now at 786-474-4435. So I got a voicemail on Friday, so a couple of days early. So let's go ahead and just play that one, because this may touch on a few topics we were possibly going to talk about.
Hey, it's Italia, One World, One Goal. I'm still a little bit under the weather from this vaccine thing, but glad I got it. And the funny thing is did put a data chip in me and Peter. Imagine all they get was soccer, and beer, and occasionally coffee, and of course Disney for Peter, and PBS for me, and soccer. That's like a rumor that they put a data chip in your arm. Haha. Anywho, exciting news. We now have the Drive Pink by AutoNation Stadium. So I'm liking this branding. They had all kinds of like cool stuff, like a pink camper and a pink pickup truck, that if we compile all the fans in the back of that and ride around when we win a championship. Of course, that might be in a little while because they're still organizing this team and deciding on the DPs. And they did hire the guy from Barcelona. So let's hope that guy can escalate, the final jersey sponsor. At least this one is on the pink one, which everyone pretty much wears anyway. And Moss said they're 95% of the way on the Miami Stadium. So let's hope Miami Freedom Park rings true in the future. Okay, love you guys. Love the show. Bye.
All right, a lot to talk about there. Let's start off, Ed, with talking about where you're at Drive Pink Stadium. And let's play this video in the background, this B-roll video that the team supplied to us. So let's just
check it out, people.
Yeah, nice little background while we're talking about Drive Pink Stadium. So I saw some fans, actually some of the diehard fans were not real thrilled at first about AutoNation being potentially a jersey sponsor, which at the time nobody knew. The rumor was out. Everybody knew. Somebody drove by the stadium, saw the decorations up on the stadium, so the cat was out of the bag. But we didn't know if it was going to be the primary sponsor of the jersey or just the stadium or just the training jersey, what have you. So there was fans, Ed, that just were, well, also training jersey. There was fans that were not happy, thinking that it was not a big enough sponsor or anything like that. What do you think about AutoNation sponsoring the stadium and also the training kit?
Well, I got to say, I think it's a good beginning. I think we did talk about that as well, that we thought, what about all this global stuff? They just hired a guy that worked with Barcelona. So we expected, a big name sponsor. But what we do know, Peter, is that the stadium is going to be named, after AutoNation. But the training jersey is also, but not the actual jersey. So that's something, that they left open. So there's still that in the horizon. I know they hired the Barcelona guy. Forget his name. We'll get used to him eventually. But we're hoping that he comes in with a big list of people, contacts that he's got to bring us some of these sponsors out. The team needs the sponsors big time. They've lost a lot of money with this whole COVID thing. So crossing my fingers that we get a big sponsor soon, because I haven't bought my La Palma jersey yet, and right. I want it with the whole shebang.
And Moss did say they are very, very close to landing that main kit sponsor. That they actually have, it sounds like they basically have an agreement in place with some global brand, and they kept talking about they're just looking for the right activation, how they can activate together, how they can use each other, I guess, best. So apparently they are very, very close to announcing a main kit sponsor. But for me, I think AutoNation sponsoring your stadium and also your training kit, I think that just is great. I think we complained a little bit here, Ed, that sometimes this team is trying to be too global, that they're concentrating on global before they've really concentrated on local. And here, AutoNation is a local company, a Fort Lauderdale-based company that is nationwide, but they are a Fort Lauderdale-based company. So I like that it's got local ties, and obviously they've got enough money, because I'm sure Inter Miami was charging a pretty penny for this sponsorship deal. So I like that it's less global and more local.
Hey, they got my money too, because I bought a car there recently, so they got my money.
There you go. I've never bought a car from AutoNation, but if I remember correctly, didn't AutoNation start way back with Wayne Huizenga? That was after he finished with Blockbuster. I think he created AutoNation and then eventually merged with Maroney, if I'm not wrong. It's a great local brand, and so I'm on board with it.
Yeah.
It gives that closer ties. And as I was driving past the stadium, the artificial field that they have there, that is now called AutoNation Community Field. I think it was called Community Field or Community something. But it's
nice
is because that is meant for like the local high schools to use and stuff like that. So that's considered the community field. So it's AutoNation Community Field or Community something. So I like that it's local, and so we should now. Who knows? Sense. I mean, we may not hear of the main kit sponsor before next weekend, before they kick off, because that is very short time. But if Jorge Mas is to be believed, because Jorge has promised us quite often that, like for example, the Miami deal is just 30 days away. 30 days away. We constantly hear 90 days away. Constantly hear it, and it's always 90 days away. It never gets any closer than 90 days. It's always 90 days. Even when you get to 90 days, it's still 90 days, right? So he's been known to kind of maybe over-promise, but it sounds like they're confident that a deal should be in place very, very soon for a kit sponsor, a global brand kit sponsor. But yeah, Drive Pink Stadium couldn't be better, and I think One World, One Goal mentioned in here that it's a charitable setup. So, which is great. Here he goes. One World, One Goal says it's good press. It's a charitable endeavor. They pay $100,000 for a clean sheet for the goalkeeper donation. I don't know about clean sheet to goalkeeper. They donate money to breast cancer. Because that's what this whole Drive Pink thing is about. It's about beating breast cancer. So they're going to donate money up to $100,000. So that's a great thing. It's good publicity. Much better publicity than it would have been had they had that Qatar Airways on their shirt.
Good deal.
Right? Imagine if they had the Qatar Airways, a different kind of publicity they would have been getting.
Hey, don't knock it just yet.
It could happen.
Don't knock it just yet, Peter, because that might be something that comes into the horizon.
Jorge Mas did say again, and I read somewhere where he said that last year they were this close to signing a deal, and then it went away because of COVID. That has to be the Qatar deal. That's the deal that went away. Has to be. So, all right, Ed.
Oh, let's see. Another thing that she mentioned, Peter.
Yes.
She was mentioning a little bit of what was it, man? She just talked about the new guy. What's his name? Do you have his name?
Xavi. Like One World
Xavi.
Says Xavi something. Everybody, Endo, Xavi something. Everybody's Xavi something.
We'll just go with the Xavi thing.
Here it is. Endo says Xavi Asensi.
There we go. Xavi Asensi. Well, he, I kind of mentioned it a little bit. He's got a good track record. He's worked with Barcelona for many years. He's done some good stuff. So he's got a good resume, Peter. He's young. He came with his young family to live in Miami. I'm sure he's got a nice place. So let's hope that he's got a lot of contacts that are to spell, good sponsorships for this team who really needs it right now. And, with those contacts, hopefully we can make this team stronger in the future. Because from what you're telling me, it looks like on the field, they're going to be hurting this year.
Yeah. Anthony Omelis saying whoever came up with the Drive Pink name should be fired. I like it. Because we wear pink. It makes sense. I like it.
I would have thought they'd call it AutoNation Stadium or something.
Yeah, but the AutoNation obviously wants to push their charity. And if you drive around South Florida, Ed, you bought a car from AutoNation. You probably were given one of those pink license tags.
I have one of those, yes.
Exactly. So, that's you see them all over South Florida, these little license plate frames. They're pink, and so they're pushing their charity. I like it. I like it. I'm cool with it. I mean, the team wears
pink. And it goes with Inter Miami too.
We wear pink.
So we're doing good on that sense. Yeah.
All right. As far as what you were saying, as far as what I saw on the field, I think we're gonna see some hopefully some low scoring games. Hopefully our defense does well because I think Leardom did well and Jones did okay as well, so that they weren't so bad. But up top, I don't know. Unless somehow Higuain lights it up, I just don't see it. I don't see Robinson obviously can cut inside from the playing on the left wing and score. We know Pizarro can score, but is it really going to be enough? I'm really not sold on this team. And we know now that in case anybody is living under a rock or is not following the team as closely as we are, Pellegrini, they're trying to trade Pellegrini because we got 4 DPs. Who knew? Who knew we had 4 DPs, right? And last year, Ed, when they signed Matuidi, we all heralded the fact that the team was able to get him for TAM money. Well, it sounds like
because Paul McDonough knew.
Yeah, well, Jorge Mas said they always knew that at year 2 he would be a DP. So that must have been part of his contract. You get him in cheap year 1, they're going to pay him bigger on year 2, 3, or whatever. But they were banking on Pellegrini qualifying for the under 22 initiative that MLS is pushing. But MLS is pushing this initiative where you could sign an expensive under 22 player and, encouraging youth, encouraging getting the up and coming star and selling them off and stuff like that. And the idea is that you could pay whatever you want. It could be a DP. But in year 1, they are capping the money. If I remember correctly off the top of my head, it was somewhere around 612,000. Maybe it was a little bit more, but it's somewhere in the 600,000 range. I think under 650. And so you have to make less than that. And reports are Pellegrini made somewhere around. He made more than whatever that minimum is. He made more. Now in year 2 or 3 or 4 of this U22, they're going to raise it. So next year, Pellegrini might qualify for this under 22, but this year he doesn't. Therefore, Pellegrini's a designated player, and we all know he's not worthy of being a designated player.
Wow. Yeah, and that's the thing that hurts us the most. And then we had another young player that's leaving us, Peter Brown.
Left.
Nealis is just signed on with Nashville, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, an interesting thing was Pellegrini played today, so I was surprised. I thought they might sit him out, but I guess you need bodies. He's
gone.
You need bodies, but Nealis was gone. Nealis is no longer with the team. Nealis has signed his contract. He's been traded, what have you. He is now a Nashville player. That was a bit of a surprise because I think, he showed promise last year. He's cheap because you drafted him. But according to Phil Neville, they just have an overabundance of that position. He's not needed. And so if he's not needed, you might as well, I guess, trade him off for what they're going to get is 175 worth of general allocation money with potentially 50,000 more if he meets some sort of, metrics. What do you think of the trade, Ed?
Right. Well, we got him for almost nothing. So, we got something out of it, Peter. Where are they going to use this money? They must have something planned. Jorge Mas just came out saying that they've got, the roster isn't full yet. So there's still people that are probably going to come in, Peter, and they're probably going to use that money for that. I don't think they could use it to bring down or help out on Matuidi's contract or Pellegrini's for that case, so that we can bring that down and not have the 4 DPs that we have in this moment. But I think somebody on Twitter recently stated something about how come Miami has 4 DPs, and I was just like, because we're special, That's my thought.
Hey, look, the Galaxy over the years have broken a lot of rules. Why can't we? In the past, they made new rules just to make it work for the Los Angeles Galaxy. Why can't we? And the whole Matuidi scandal is still being looked at as well. So, But and that was I was watching today's game. Now this is really wrong of me to wish ill will on anybody, and I'm not really wishing ill will. But I noticed Pellegrini got fouled today. He went down and he was hurt enough for the training staff to come out. While the training staff is running out, I thought, if Pellegrini's injured and he's maybe out for the year, does he count as our DP? Could he go down in a scrimmage and then be relegated to the injury reserve list or something, and does that free up our DP? That's one of the questions I had. Now, I'm not wishing ill will on Pellegrini and wishing that he got injured, but I just started thinking of creative ways. Somebody else posed a question to us that could they loan him down to Fort Lauderdale? Could they loan Pellegrini down to Fort Lauderdale, where then he's not on the MLS books? That would be an interesting situation. Is if Pellegrini was then sent down to Fort Lauderdale, could he still be could we free up that DP? Could we get ourselves out of a situation by putting him on the Fort Lauderdale squad for like 1 year, let him get some experience? Could they do that? I don't see why not. USL is not MLS. Couldn't they? Because here's what they're trying to do. They're trying to trade him to a team in MLS, and they're not going to get it. I don't think they're going to get any bidders because he's making somewhere in the neighborhood of like $690,000. I got to look up my chats because I chatted it to somebody. But he's making a boatload of money, and nobody wants to pay that kind of him. Nobody. I don't think anybody's going to want to pony up a DP for him right now. He did not prove it. And I saw him today. Right. He still looked like the same Pellegrini today that he did last year. He's still not a DP. So I think
their only chance,
option,
Peter, is for probably get him to a team outside of the United States. Hopefully Brazil. Their transfer market's still open.
Right.
They need to start moving fast because I think we only have till Friday.
Yeah, they have to get into roster compliance by Friday. So they could buy out his contract and just eat a bunch of money and say, see ya. But, they spent like somewhere around $9 million and to get him here. It was a bunch of money and transfer money. So,
somebody made a great deal right there. Paul McDonough.
What kind of kickbacks did Paul McDonough get for this deal? So, look, as a general manager, you're not going to win. You're not going to strike gold every single time, right? You're going to get some losers,
that's tough.
Right? You're not. They're not all going to be, 1 or 2 years in MLS and then off to England. So he lost on this one. So I don't want to run him through the ringer because he made a bad call, but he's made several bad calls. That's where we could run him through the ringer for the multiple of bad calls. For the fact that he didn't pick Daryl Dike, and we all know where Daryl Dike is right now. He's tearing it up with multiple offers. Orlando's going to get a nice big offer for him. So.
And what was he? The second draft pick? We got the first and third draft picks.
Right. We could have still gotten Robinson. If we really wanted Robinson, and then we could have gotten DK instead of Nealis. And clearly, Nealis was a good player, but he's not on the squad.
Mm-hmm.
So, just saying. All right, Ed, let's go to some more voicemails. There's so many things to talk about, but there's some more voicemails.
This is Ted from Coral Gables, Florida, in Miami-Dade County. I'm calling for two reasons. One is the situation with the DPs. They have to get rid of one of them or whatever. I know the LA Galaxy ended up buying out Giovanni Dos Santos when he was when they had 4 DPs and they needed to get rid of one. I heard that's what Inter Miami is looking at doing or trading him or whatever. But here's a question. I don't know if this is legal because MLS has convoluted rules and I haven't been able to get a straight answer to this. Couldn't they just put him on Fort Lauderdale CF for the entire year? or does that still count against their salary cap? I mean, if they wanted to keep him around because he's a potential star later in life, but to be honest with you, I didn't really see that much potential anyway. But then again, he played mostly on the left side last year, and I know that's not his natural position. Anyway, my next question is, isn't it annoying that the Miami Herald and the Sun Sentinel both charge now to read their website? I mean, I remember back in the Fusion days, that's where I got all my info. But now you get like 3 free articles, and then they charge you to read it for that. And I understand why, the print business isn't what it used to be, but it's just, I'm finding that I'm getting most of my info from other sources now. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Take care.
Well, Ted from Coral Gables, first off, thank you for letting us know where Coral Gables was, because I know Ed was not sure. I know where Coral Gables was, but I don't think Ed really knew.
But he's got some good stuff here, Peter.
Yeah, he does. And actually probably should have played that like a minute earlier, because he's talking about the Fort Lauderdale type of situation with Pellegrini. So that is a valid question. I like the idea. It's better to put him on Fort Lauderdale than to say just totally eat the money. And if you buy out the salary, that's what you're doing. You're eating the money. So right. I think it would be better to put him there. I don't know if it's possible, but they got to make a decision quick. And this is one of those things where Chris Henderson is saddled with mistakes made by the previous administration. So, and don't expect, based off of what I saw today, and granted it was just a scrimmage, but don't expect a massive difference between this year and last year. So it's going to take Chris Henderson some time. Wow. He made a few changes. They're concentrating on defense. Everything Neville talks about is defense. So they're concentrating on defense. The new additions were defense. So, But then what was his other comment? Oh, about the Miami Herald. You know what I do, Ed? And this is cheating the system. It doesn't. I don't know if it always works, but it worked for me today. You open the article incognito. Your browser has an incognito window. You open it in incognito, and you can read it for free. I did that with today's Miami Herald article. Because, yes, it is behind a paywall. And I get it, because people aren't getting the paper these days. They got to make their money somehow. So people like Michelle Kaufman got to make a living somehow. So, they got to pay her. So I understand them having to do that. Now, you would hope that the Miami Herald could make enough money just off of sponsors, and that would be it. But apparently they can't, or they choose not to. They want to. It may be more than just how much money they need. It might be, hey, they want to have fat wallets. The ownership does. So, what do you think, Ed?
Well, having said that, Peter, I want to remind people that we're going to do that giveaway in a little bit. We still got some time. We're just about halfway through the show. In about another, I don't know, I'd say 15 minutes, I'll let you guys know what you got to put in the chat room. And somebody in the chat room will be the one winning the 2 tickets to the game Galaxy versus Inter Miami this coming Sunday.
Right. Some comments in here. Anthony is saying the preseason situation was abysmal. Several of their games were canceled. Troy is saying Daniel is right. Weak preseason may affect the opener. I agree. The one thing that Chris Henderson was saying is that he feels like other teams are having similar issues. So we may be in the same boat as others. I don't know. I didn't follow what LA Galaxy was doing in their preseason and how many games they may or may not have played. I do know that Orlando City played some games. I know that Dallas played some games. I think Dallas played Houston today. So they played some quality matches. We couldn't even play Miami FC.
That's something that sucks, Peter. We could have actually seen how the team was if we would have played against Toronto.
Yes, that was the plan today. That was why we were going to the stadium, to see that Toronto game. So that did not happen. Troy says, if Pellegrini goes to Fort Lauderdale, he is less likely to be injured, but will improve. Look, getting him solid playing time, even at a lower level, Well, speaking of players at a lower level, Ascona played today. He was with Fort Lauderdale CF last year, one of their Academy of products, now signed with a team. He played and he scored a goal. But I'll tell you, out on the field against some of our bigger players, he looks little. He's a tiny little guy. I think he's like 5'6", something like that. He's little. And, hey, in soccer, you don't have to be big, tall, and everything, but I do worry that he'll get powered off the ball against some of the big defenders in MLS. But he did look promising. He looked good on the black team. He scored their one goal.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
Ed, it sounds like you're popular today.
I'm getting a lot of phone calls right now, man.
Popular
I don't know
guy.
what it is, but yeah.
All right. Let's go to another voicemail.
Fam. A damn.
Got it.
Once again, man, this is America's favorite uncle, Uncle Ned. I wanted to give a shout out to my guys holding it down for us. Downtown, Peter Brown. And my guy, he spells uncle with a lowercase u. I spell uncle with a higher case u.
Shots
and
fired.
That's my man, Uncle Ed, a.k.a. Darrell's favorite uncle. Shout out to the room, man. Shout out to my people in the room. Love you guys, man, and I love what we're doing here on this platform. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to my man Dylan Nealis. That hit me. That kind of hit me in the guts, man. That's like a sucker punch, man. I personally like Dylan Nealis, and I actually think he's the better of the two draft picks that we got in the 2020 Super Draft. I don't know, man. I think we're going to miss this guy, man. I know you can slot Futbol into the right back spot, but that's not Futbol's natural position. You know what I'm saying? Futbol's position is center back. I don't know if you want to really be slotting him into right back. I don't want to play games with this team, man. I mean, there's only 7 positions open for the playoffs, man. Let's not play games, man. Let's leave everybody where they belong in their natural positions, and let's, enough with the experimenting and the tinkering around of lineups and stuff like that. Dylan Nealis, man, we needed to give this kid time, man. And this guy wasn't bad. He was actually pretty decent. So we're going to miss him. And the thing is, we traded him to our rivals. I don't care what anybody says. Nashville is our rival. Just like NYCFC is Orlando's rival. You know what I'm saying? So when you come into the league together in the same year, you usually become rivals with that other team. It's a friendly rivalry, but you become rivals, you know what I'm saying? Because you want to be the better of the two teams that came into the league. And Nashville is our rival. I know Orlando's tops. Atlanta's definitely a rival of ours, but so is Nashville. And they kicked our behind a couple of times last year, too. We didn't win one game against these guys. I don't know why the hell we're giving them our young treasure to them for $175,000 in GAM, $50,000 in incentives. Anyway, but the main thing I was calling about is so we had this game today. I didn't get a chance to watch everything from the game, but I just want to give you guys sufficient notice ahead of time. Don't get too overly wrapped up in what you may have saw today. Guys were playing an inter-squad game.
Oh, got cut off, but I know he's got more. He likes to go long. Here we go.
I'm back. Anyway, Uncle Ned back. Listen, we only played an inter-squad game today, man. I mean, this game is almost like
Yeah, let's try that again. Doesn't want to play.
I'm back. Anyway, Uncle Ned back. Listen, we only played an inter-squad game today, man. I mean, this game is almost like slap boxing your little brother in the backyard. You know what I'm saying? I don't take too much from it, and it's concerning the fact that we have not been able to play too many games in the preseason against real competition. I'm sorry. White versus black is not real competition if you guys are on the same team. So regardless of who scored today and who didn't score today, I only take but so much, you know. Sure, there's guys that actually look good out there, and we want to see that they carry that on into next week's game against LAFC. But you know what? Guess what? Not LAFC, but LA Galaxy. But guess what? LA Galaxy is coming down here to score and to win the game. They're not here to show out and, you know, to look good on TV. They want to get points because the Western Conference is going to be a beast this year. So I say that to say that this team we're going to be riding on the back of Higuain. If Higuain does not score and he does not score sufficiently and often, we're not going to look too good. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about Lewis Morgan all we want, but the center forward of this team, our star striker, is Gonzalo Higuain. All right, and he's got to get on the board and get on the board often. We got to see a growth pattern in Robbie Robinson, and Julian Carranza has definitely got to make that leap as well. Okay, if we can get these guys going and get them going early and often in our games, then I think we have a fighting chance to get into the playoffs. But if not, we're going to struggle, man. And you know, we'll see next week. I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I am putting everything in perspective, and I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. Okay. I think on our defensive end, as far as our fullbacks are concerned, I think we're going to be pretty nice, man, especially when Kieran Gibbs gets here. And I think they can also give us a little bit of a kick offensively, too. So I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, I just want to drop that on you guys, man. I hope you guys have a great day and be safe out there. Uncle Ned got his COVID shot today, his Johnson & Johnson shot. So Uncle Ed is good to go to be partying with you guys at Drive Pink Stadium. Shout out to the Moss family who are getting the sponsorship for the new stadium. That's also a good look for us. Anyway, love you guys, man. Be safe out there. Wear your masks. Wash your hands often. And be well. And I'll see you guys soon at Drive Pink Stadium. Good luck and God bless. See you guys later. Bye.
All right, a lot there. You know, I think the moral of his story was don't take too much out of today. And I agree. You can't, nobody's going in for hard tackles. They're just playing against their friends or their coworkers, right? You can't put too much into a scrimmage. But you could still see some things. And I didn't see enough, But the whole thing about not playing against legit competition is, I think, going to really potentially hurt this club. We could see a slow start. But what I think is really what we're going to see, Ed, is probably, if we're lucky, I think our best situation is low-scoring games. That our defense, that they really are focusing on, holds it down, and we get maybe some clean sheets, and all we need is one goal.
Well, we're kind of used to it. Last year was kind of low scoring.
Same.
So,
but we gave up.
We're used to it. We expect. The thing is, Neville wasn't. He got what he got. He brought in a couple of players, but the majority of the players are players that he didn't pick. So this year he needs to struggle with that. Try to make something out of what he's got, and crossing our fingers that we'll make the playoffs, Peter.
Yeah, and it's a little bit harder to make the playoffs. Fewer teams are making the playoffs than last year, so it's going to be a little bit harder to get into the playoffs. Do you think, as of right now, we make the playoffs?
Well, that's a good segue, because I want to see who puts the best comment, who wants those tickets. Leave us a comment right there. Tell us why we're going to make the playoffs or why we're not going to make the playoffs. The best comment, Peter will pick the best comment. And all right, so we got that person will contact us on social media. Send us we're going to need your number, because we're going to have to get you in contact with Alex Zapata, who's the guy that's giving these tickets away. You got to meet up with him at the game, and he will give you those tickets so you can get into the game and watch Inter Miami beat the Galaxy. So let us know what you think.
Yeah,
will we make the playoffs? Will we not make the playoffs?
Right, and basically all we're promising, I just want to put this in as a disclaimer, Ed. All we're promising is that we will connect the two people. right? Something falls apart.
Yeah.
Football Miami TV is not responsible, right? So we are going to put the two parties, and we're going to connect you guys, and you should get some nice tickets thanks to our friend Alex. So say it again, Ed. They have to put in the best comment as to will they or
make the playoffs?
Will they won't make the playoffs?
Yes, the best comment gets in. Peter gets to pick, so he's gonna pop them up there and start going now, guys. So we can get that winner out of the way, and we can talk a little bit more soccer.
So I would
make it happen.
I would say just my thought is they're just on the outside looking in. I hope I am wrong. I'm a homer. I want them to win every game, but realistically, I don't see enough of an improvement this year to say that they're making the playoffs. I think we're better, and you could say, well, if we don't make the playoffs, we're not better. Well, 10 teams got in the playoffs. I think only 7 are getting in this time. So less people are getting in the playoffs this year. So, it's going to be a little bit harder. So I think our record may be better, or we might look better on the field, but I just don't think we're quite there.
Wow. Okay. So, that's not a good sign. I mean, Peter, from what you've seen, we might not make it. I want a team that, we already made the playoffs once. Let's hopefully have that tradition of making the playoffs every year from here until eternity. Let's make it happen, Inter Miami. Let's do it. Let's get that record.
Right. And I may need you to fill a little bit here, Ed, because I'm reading some comments that are coming in that you definitely lit up the chat room a little bit. So we got some people coming in.
Because people want those tickets, guys. Leave those messages, leave those comments. Tell us why or why not Inter Miami will make the playoffs, and you can win two game tickets for Inter Miami's game this coming Sunday versus the Galaxy. So make it happen, guys.
And just part 2 of last week's conversation, where the main topic of the show was, can Ed convince my wife to give up her tickets? I will say she gave them up. Ed is going to the game, so he will not be the one taking these free tickets. So he's
not me.
He's going to the game with me. So my wife was awesome to let.
And my wonderful wife gave me permission only because she likes Peter. Well, I think she likes your wife more than she likes you.
Most people.
She's like, all right.
And look, I'm a little prickly, right? So. But my wife is very, very kind and generous, and I may be generous at times, but I'm a little prickly. I'm an acquired taste. She's a much better person than I am. Oh man, there's a lot of people in the chat. They're negative. So let's just throw some things up on the screen here. Let's go through. Let's throw some up here. And I know you said I will pick them, but you can help. So Footballer is saying in other words, do not. He's right. In other words, do not attempt to sue FMTV. Correct. Footballer first he said, we will not make the playoffs because Inter has not shown any consistency, and the name of the game is consistency on whatever that is. Troy says, playoffs, no. Fully assembled teams have a definite advantage. Miami has too many irregularities.
Oh, wow.
Endo says, we are special. That's why we're making the playoffs. I like his optimism.
Endo, and does he come from that planet far?
That's Endor.
The moon.
That's Endor.
No, I'm getting, I just realized I backtracked on that.
And speaking of Endor, if you have Disney Plus, you just put me on a tangent. If you have Disney Plus, Ed, they just dropped last week, I think it is, a bunch of these really awful but great Endor type of movies / cartoons. They put out the Ewoks cartoon that was from like 1985 to 86, something like that. I mean, it was old. I don't remember the exact year.
Yeah,
it was like two seasons.
Those things were terrible.
It's awful. It's awful. But they're there, and they're awesome because they're awful. And they made like 2 Ewok TV movies that are just hideous. I can't wait to watch them.
Terrible as well.
Terrible. Yeah. But because they're so bad, that makes them so awesome. All right.
They're probably going to have those specials that they had, right? They had the Christmas one. Remember, they had like a Christmas Star Wars.
The Christmas special, you could only really see if you were young enough to see it live. But I've seen them on like video cassette tapes at like these like toy conventions. The people will sell like bootleg versions of it. I'd seen it on some screens there, but it's so bad that they have Lucasfilm, at least back when George owned the company, said it would never see the light of day ever again. So who knows?
I don't blame them. I saw it too, and it was terrible. But back to our tickets, Peter. People want those tickets.
B. King says we will make the playoffs because of our UK connection, meaning Phil and David will will us into the playoffs. All right. One World is just asking if you got the tickets, or do I need to go to the front office to get you a media pass? One World, why don't you get to work?
Yeah, get us those media passes.
Get him a media pass.
We won't mind.
You know what's funny is I never really applied for one because it's like I want to see it as a fan, because when you go in the media, you got to sit up there. You can't dress like this in the media booth. You got to dress more professional. You can't cheer. I want to enjoy the atmosphere. I want to be with the fans. So there's benefits of being media, but there's also some negatives. So Baldwin 4 says this season is just starting. I don't want to be negative, but I can't see them making the playoffs. Anthony says we'll make the playoffs because everyone doubts we will. The training videos on Neville on the pitch looks like a man on fire. I think we'll start slow, but pick up the steam further in the season. So far, my favorite comment, Ed.
Mm-hmm.
Miami Derp says, as long as goaltending stays consistent, I think we would have a chance of making the playoffs. Last year, our shortfall was goaltending. Eesh. So I don't know if McCarthy is that guy. I think he's serviceable. I think he's okay.
Right. Well, they were talking about bringing in a guy from the Netherlands, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he was. Was he? I don't know if it was Netherlands. Was it in like Denmark or something? Or was he playing in the Danish league?
Oh, could be Danish. Yeah,
somewhere over in that part of the world.
I thought they said Dutch. So
you could be right, but maybe he's Dutch, but he's playing. I don't know. I thought I saw Danish something or other. Maybe it's a Danish league. But yeah, you're right. They're apparently close to negotiating a contract for another goalkeeper. So, McCarthy may.
Yeah. Do they even have space for that though? For international players?
I don't know. I mean, if they're talking to him, I guess. And I mean, I don't think they do, but I don't know. At this point, who knows? All right. Kata says, we don't make the playoffs due to the fact that Phil is still an unproven manager. Higuain, Pizarro get injured. The depth is not there. Well, that is true. The defense, which needs time to gel, will give up goals. There's more depth on defense than there is anywhere else. There's not a whole lot of depth in the attack. That's for darn sure. Daniel Kohner says, they will have to prove themselves on decision day. 7-14 was not a good record last season.
Terrible. Yeah, 7-14. Wow.
This could be my favorite, Ed. It's not nice, but it's funny. We are going to the playoffs because Higuain is eating a lot of empanadas.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, you win me over with empanadas. Empanadas, I eat a lot of empanadas when I go to Colombia, and I love me an empanada. That's to me.
My wife makes good ones.
To me, Almendar's 15 is the leader in the pack right now. So if anybody else wants to get in real quick and beat Almendar's 15, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Is there a better way of saying that, Ed?
Almendar's, yeah, that's what it looks like. Almendar's 15. So, yeah, good one, man. Let's see if anybody else wants to chime in because we're running out of time. We're almost. We are running
out of time, but hey, we got Carl Toppin is watching us from Jamaica, and because of us, you guys, meaning you guys in the chat and us here, he's become an Inter Miami fan. It's hard for him to find the network that the games are on. Can you guys help me with that? Well, watch Disney Plus. So that's what I would, I don't know if they have, I said Disney Plus, ESPN Plus. It's part of the Disney family. Watch ESPN Plus. I'm not sure if they have ESPN Plus in Jamaica, but, because we're talking international rules in that case.
You love Disney so much, man.
Hey.
You love Disney so much you want them to show soccer games.
Here's the thing. I was supposed to be there today. I'm not. But I was supposed to be there today. I had park reservations for today, and I chose not to go just so I could be here with you, Ed.
Wow, that's good stuff.
All right. Well, I think Oh, Richard Greenberg says the Star Wars Christmas special can be found on YouTube. We should do a watch party. We should do a watch party. Watch it on YouTube.
We'll do it live, and we'll have comments and stuff. And that's a good idea, Peter Brown.
Federico Vargas is saying we will make it to the playoffs because it does not take much to make it. Well, fewer teams are making it this year. We just need to be better than 4 teams. We are not that good, but we are good enough. Maybe. We'll see. Hope, we got to win next weekend against LA Galaxy. Ed, let's just finish with this. I'd say, are you in agreement with me that Almendarez 15 is our ticket winner?
The way for to win us over, guys, is if you mention empanadas. That's anything goes in our tummies,
or just be funny.
And
I think
funny.
If you're funny, you win me over. I'll tell you that. So
so contact us.
Contact us.
Contact us on social media.
Hit us up on
we'll
DM us on Twitter, Football Miami TV on Twitter, or Instagram, or one of those. Send us a direct message on there, and we will get you connected with Alex.
Get you in contact with Alex Zapata.
Right. So Ed, all right, let's just wrap it up here because there are so many other things I wanted to talk about that we did not get to, but we want to make sure we're always giving enough attention to the chat, which we sometimes don't give it enough attention to, and also the voicemail. So you guys want to control the show, you could do that. There's so many other things I wanted to talk about that we could leave for another show. But what we have to do is just give our final thoughts. And as we're heading into the LA Galaxy game next Sunday, we're going to be at Drive Pink Stadium. Excited to be there for a game that matters. Now, that's a team that's been rebuilt a bit themselves. It got a new coach. How do you think we fare against LA Galaxy, Ed?
I think we've got a chance, Peter. Chicharito's been playing terrible. We get to see him, see if he could do anything. So cross our fingers, or pray, or do whatever we have to, so that this this Sunday that's coming up, we get those 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, as far as making a prediction, I told you to make one, but I don't know if I think I might be with Steve C. 2-1 Inter. 2-1 Inter? Oh, no, I think it might be the other way around. That's what I'm afraid of. Kata saying, defend the fort. Somebody that used to be maybe around for the old Fort Lauderdale Strikers days. Mm-hmm. Like I said, got into a little bit of a beef because I called Drive Pink a Lockhart. Somebody saying it's not Lockhart. Lockhart's dead. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Don't care. Judge Dredd is saying 2-1 Herons. Seems to be the popular opinion. 2-1 Herons. I'm hoping for a win, but I'm scared. I am scared going into this season. But I am as excited, if not more excited, than last year because I feel like this year we might be able to see like a real season. They are hoping that after the first 3 games at the end of May, when they have their 4th home game, that they can open up to about 16,000 fans. That's pretty much capacity, close to capacity. So I'm more excited about this season, I think, than I was last year. I'm more into the team because last year was more of just an idea. Now it's 2 years of having a team. It's like, got more gear. It's more in my blood. I'm so excited, Ed. I can't tell you how excited I was just walking into the stadium today for nothing. Really, just a scrimmage.
Right, but it's going to be incredible going in there, guys. If you're at the stadium, don't be afraid to come up to us. I'm going to be wearing my Uncle Ed 69 jersey. Come up and say hi to us. Hey, buy us a beer, guys. You know,
you don't have to buy us anything.
That'll, empanadas, beer. That'll definitely
and future
get us on the right side.
Future video ideas. I want to do like a video of kind of like judging their food. Let's see, because I think stadium food is important. So that's a future video we can look into doing. Maybe once the thing opens up a little bit more and it's not so restrictive. But do they sell empanadas? And if they do, how are they? We'll find out in a future video, I think, is what I'm saying.
Exactly. All right. I like that.
Everybody, thanks so much for watching. I'm looking for the outro. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks to Caneswear. Go to caneswear.com where you too can get a cool-looking jacket like this, cheaper than if you went to Inter Miami Stadium. If you go to Drive Pink Stadium, you're going to pay a little bit more for this than if you went to Caneswear. So everybody wants to save some money and also support a local business. All right, everybody, thanks so much for playing with us tonight and having some fun. And we will see you at the game. Next week, we'll probably do a couple of live streams. I don't know if we'll do the normal show because we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But we'll plan on doing some live streams from the stadium next week. Look for them. We'll see you next week. Bye, guys.